morning. It's a brand new week, and we're really glad to be with you again today on Summit. My name is Jumoke Michaels. You're welcome. Banji, good morning.
Jumoke, good morning.
Good to be here again.
It's just a 40, is it 72 hours or 48 hours
to the end of the month?
No, not just to the end of the month.
To the 1st of
October, when Nigeria would have clocked 60 years. Jumoke, it's let me say, a great relief. Earlier this morning, when the tripartite meeting of TUC, NLC, and the federal government actually reached a kind of truce, suspending the strike. Of course, Lagos would have been a different place this morning. By this time, if the strike had actually gone ahead. And throughout the federation, really, in Abuja, in every state capital, the labor unions had stationed its members and mobilizing members to actually shut down the economy. Thank God it's been suspended, and it's based on the understanding that the electricity hike has actually been reversed, but not so for fuel pump price. Let's continue. Let's wait and hope for better negotiation. My name is Banji Busari. It's my pleasure to be here.
All right, so we are celebrating Nigeria at 60 on Thursday. And there's an aspect of nation building that we'll be looking at this morning. That's the involvement of women in nation building. What level of involvement should we find women in nation building? That's what we'll be looking at this morning on the program. And like we always do, we'd like you to be part of the discussion by sending us an SMS, please, just an SMS, to share your thoughts with us on women's role in nation building, especially as Nigeria will be 60. A 60-year-old, should I say child? No. A 60-year-old country is already an adult, aged. So let's look at what women can actually do to still impact Nigeria at 60. And joining us for this discussion this morning, we have a veteran, a woman, a mother, the person of Mrs. Taiwo Ajayi, Sept. This woman, just hold on, let me reel out her accomplishments. She's an actress of 50 years experience, home and abroad. She's a journalist, a TV presenter, a cosmetologist. She's a feminist, the first editor of African Woman magazine in the 70s. And she's 79 years old. She's older than Nigeria. Good morning, ma.
She was 19 years. I mean, she was 19 years as at the time Nigeria was born. So she actually took the delivery of Nigeria in 1960. That's October 1. She was 19 years. It's our pleasure to have you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here.
You're welcome.
It's a privilege.
She's at 79. She will be 80 by February
next year.
2021. Do you call her a septuagenarian or octogenarian now? Between the two. Between. By next year, she'll be octogenarian, I'm sure. She'll be octogenarian. We are indeed honored to have you here.
I was thrilled to see everyone greeting you like they know you personally.
This is my terrain. This is my country. They're my people. I am theirs. And so they know me. I'm so excited when that happens, that I have connection with people. It's a great honor and privilege. And not many politicians or whatever would have what we have, a connection with one another, and connection is everything. And you're talking about women empowerment. It is what women do best. Connecting, nurturing, kindness, tolerance, identification with people. That's what you see. People identify with me because I identify with them.
It's a great opportunity, a very rare one. And before we actually delve into the mainstream of this discussion, let's actually relish experience, the high points of your life, the experiences. I mean, how did it start and journey through life?
Extraordinary, living, growing and being born here. I'm an Awori, I'm Awori, I'm a Lagosian, I'm a native Lagosian, I'm an indigene of this city.
States.
Yeah, of this state, and I'm connected with the Jumota area, Ebuteru, Ota, Ogba, Ogba, Eututu, Alasia, Alausa, around there, was built
It used to
on
be allowed. Did you say it used to be Alausa?
Alausa. It's Alausa.
Alausa.
Well, we won't go into that. What used to, was my grandmother's property, cocoa farm. I'm connected to the soil. I'm sitting on right now. That's
So
how
you
much
could claim Omonile.
I am a Monile.
I mean, you could
I'm
claim
a
this.
daughter of the
this
soil.
time. So,
Yeah, and it's a true daughter of the shore. The Oba elect of Ogba is my cousin. My grandmother was a woman Oba of Ogba, okay, and married to somebody in Ewututu, and because she was royalty and the queen there, that man had to live there and come and marry her at Ogba. It's the tombstones over there. So yes, I am Lagosian. Yeah, I'm Lagosian. My father was an accountant with Marines then. That's now metamorphosed into NPA, Nigerian Ports Authority. In fact, my first son used to say that his grandfather works at Authority.
All right, but thank you very much. Let's take you from what Jumoke actually reeled out earlier. That's the first female journalist.
Yeah, you were always Afrocentric.
I have always been.
Yeah, okay, you're talking about the editor.
Editor,
Okay, the
first female
editor of African Woman magazine in the 70s.
Yes.
I mean, that's not mean achievement. That's the era where you had very few women who were graduates or who were literate enough to take on such a very important task. We used to hear about the Zigs, the editors of Pilots, West African and all that. But you became the first female editor of Women magazine. Tell us your experience then and how that experience actually shaped what you are today.
Got me very political, I suppose. Made me an activist of such. I was associate editor with Peter Inakoro and with Ambassador Ralph Wechwe, the late Ralph Wechwe, who was the publisher, owner of Africa Journal, Africa Journal Limited. He was the ambassador to Biafra in Paris during the war. After the war, he moved, he started Jeune Afrique, it was. And then he came to the UK and continued with Africa Journal. And I was associate editor, so he recruited me as an associate editor, together with my big brothers, Peter Inakoro and co, there. And then I thought women should be more aggressive and all that. I was young and bristling with energy and all that. And they said, well, why don't we start Africa Woman? It is an economic, social, cultural, and political magazine for men and women, African men and women in the diaspora. So I started, I launched and edited it. And in fact, I went for both Africa Journal and Africa Woman to the first International Women's Day. When it was inaugurated, when it was launched in Mexico. I covered that as a photojournalist for Africa Journal and Africa Woman. And there was another, that was the time when we had the Cold War and Germany. And there was another one in East Germany, so I covered that. And I was writing for the BBC and whatever, for the Daily Times, when it was still under the Thomson organization. So that was my journalistic, whatever career going on there. I was still an actor, and I was broadcasting. I was broadcasting, calling Nigeria from the BBC Bush House for years, every week. I don't know whether you guys came across
All right. Okay, so we're talking about the African woman and their involvement in nation development, especially because Nigeria is 60 now. But I want to take it from this angle of something I read about you, that you were always Afrocentric when your contemporaries were Europeanizing their looks to fit into Western view of acceptance. Now, do you think this is one of the areas that Nigerian women need to evolve from to be able to have positive impact in national development?
I think very much so. I believe very passionately about this. And I may, of course, offend many people, and I do intend to offend them, to really get them to think about this. Because being Afrocentric is an ideological stance, it's an intellectual stance in a geopolitical world where Europe and Caucasians think they own the world. They forget, actually, that the world started from Africa. And we are encouraging this thought that they actually own the world. They don't. They come here. All the development that they have is enabled by what they take from here to there. There's no argument about that. And all of this by the barrel of a gun to our heads, and the slavery and all that. But having said all that, every Caucasian has the Eve gene in them. That's an African. The Eve gene. Every white person is an African. They have a black gene in them. Humanity started from us. But they don't accept this. And then they tell you something in the Bible that says, Africans are supposed to be slaves. So they rewrote the Bible for a start, but we won't go into that. We don't have all day to talk about that. But there is the Eve gene. I recognize the seniority and the superiority of my race. This is not just flip talk. It's real. Everything comes from from here, and I know that. But we've been so brainwashed that a lot of us don't know this, and I'm a bit saddened that as highly educated as some of our women are, they have not appreciated their inheritance. They don't know about their inheritance, because politically, when I was first arrived, I said, my name is Taiwo. And somebody said, well, what's your Christian name? I said, my name is Taiwo. I said, well, make it easy for me. Can I call you Tai? I said, no, don't call me Tai. My family called me Tai, and all that. Why? Because she thought it was difficult for her to pronounce Taiwo. And I said, she just introduced herself to me. She's Jane Llewellyn. I said, if I can say Llewellyn, which is a Gaelic Welsh name, if I can say Llewellyn, you surely can say Taiwo. I was 19 years old. I just got to that. I hadn't just picked up my political whatever. I was 19 years, because we were raised here to be very proud of who we are, who we were. I said, so you heard of Taiwan? She said, yes. Well, remove AN and put O. Taiwan. I said, Taiwan. I said, there you are. It's not that difficult, is it? Now, so all over the world, they patronize us. We have been so brainwashed, we've been told that we're worthless, and we have bought it. Europeans have called our hair mop head, moppy here, nappy here. And they want, the Black Americans, African Americans, they have to wear scarf because their bosses, their masters didn't want to see their hair. That's the origin of this thing that we now think is sophisticated to wear wigs, Oriolori, which I call it. I find it offensive. I find it shameful that people cannot be proud of what their hair is. And they did not know that we got to that because the Europeans were saying, I don't want to look at that hair, it offends me. So in order to please them now, in order for us to feel we look sophisticated, we wear wigs. And do you know, in terms of GDP, how much money we're wasting importing this? And educated, highly educated women don't even think about this. They just think it's a question of looking good. What's wrong with looking like this? What is more...
Black is beautiful.
Always has been. They say, you know, black don't crack. Always. Till you die. Look at our old women. Their bone structure, their skin and everything. Fantastic. But our educated women think that is bush. They say it's local.
That's why I actually want to come in now. 60 years on, that's from 1960 to 2020. We actually fought, our leaders then fought colonialism to a standstill, and the British were forced to actually hand over the reins of governance to the black. But 60 years after, neocolonialism has actually taken over, to the extent that an average African now wants to think America, wants to think Britain, wants to think other parts of the world. From what we hear, where what we eat, the education we receive, our cultures generally, we are actually going back to neocolonialism. I mean, won't the right man be right then to say that we are second-class citizens?
No, our thinkers, I'm sorry, I think our thinkers have let us down. At the ivory tower, our thinkers, they need to, and our entertainment industry, we need to project to our population what our intrinsic beauty is, what our intrinsic values are. They're not doing that because obviously they themselves don't know. That's where brought in the thinkers, the academics, who must study this and then infuse the society with the right values, with the right suggestions for them to pick. And you can't beat them over the head. But when we keep talking about what do we have to contribute to the world in terms of our culture, what are we giving them? We're not. We're getting, because of this brainwashing, we've just settled into it, so that we'll keep reinforcing and strengthening the Western world against our culture. This is what we're doing. And this is where we need, it's not enough to be educated. I think you have to be re-educate yourself about your condition. And what is happening is that most of our education is superficial. Our understanding of the world is superficial. That's why there's not enough critical thinking about our condition, about what our role is in the world. We talk about all these things, but we really don't know what our role is in the world. I think our role in the world is some leadership. Europe has lost its way, and there's floundering like that, and I'm not at all surprised, because if you sow the wind, you will reap the whirlwind. That's what's happening around the world. They have come to so-called helpless societies, decimated us, used our resources, they will never know peace. It's not a curse, it is the law. It is what you sow, you will reap. They will never enjoy their so-called affluence or whatever. They will always be sleeping with one eye open. That's what they sowed. That's what they have. But that's why we have a responsibility not to keep depending, to be looking over there. And if we don't wake up soon, we will continue to have our best brains going over to them in what I call the second slavery. It's not even just colonialism. We go willingly, we use our money and buy tickets and go over there. We are trained, we have the skills we don't use for our own people because we are frustrated with the fact that we don't understand and we want things easy. Nothing actually comes to anybody that you have not fought for. There is no free lunch.
Right,
if we don't want to work,
Talking about getting nothing that you have not fought for.
Yeah.
Now, we live in a society that is male-dominated, especially in the political arena. And women are seen as second class. Like you told me earlier that we have accepted that norm. Now, how will the woman build self-esteem to be able to fit in, more women to come out, more women to impact society positively?
Raise your children well. Women do not understand their power. Women have no idea of their genius. Women do not actually know that they populate the world, they make the world. We get what we deserve because we're the people who raise our children. We're the people who raise our men to be go-getters. We're the people who tell our children, our male children, that you are a man, and you're going to have a wife, and you must educate your children, you must send them to this, that, and the other, and you must look after extended family. You heap all manner of burdens on him, and you say to to the girls, you are the wife, and you find that now, even though our girls are highly educated, the top of what they're looking for is to be married. Now, there's nothing wrong with being married. But marriage is a partnership. Even though they're earning their money, they're still expecting the man to carry as much responsibility as possible. And they can do what they like with their money. That's duplicitous. That's dishonest. That's not intelligent. Because if you have a man, a marriage is a partnership. Give and take, give and take. You raise your husband. And who are the people who support this man to power? You. It is no wonder then that the men die younger than their women.
Really?
Oh, yes. The men will go with all this burden, emotional, psychologically, financial, that they have to worry about. They go to work. They have children. They have very little in common with their children. The children don't know them. I think it's unfair on the men. I'm a feminist. The children don't know them. They don't even know they're losing out on something, on a relationship, deep relationship with their children. So eventually the children fly the coop. They're educated, they have their own jobs. Okay. The man is left with the woman. That's the only person, or his mistresses or whatever. And in being this big man that we say he is, he can be frittering his seeds around because he thinks he's a big man. I can have as many women as I like, not knowing that they're killing themselves. So they have 5 wives or concubines or mistresses and everything, and they think they're living a good life.
All right.
That's what I like that.
I pity men. Well, let's talk more about women now. 35 years before now, that's at Beijing conference. Women gathered together, actually came up with templates on how to actually be more relevant in the affairs of their countries. And for the resolution there was that women will actually take 35% inclusion in governance. Looking at our situation in this country as we speak, Nigeria is 60. How much evolution have you seen in women's participation in politics and governance? And then even the little that have been given opportunities to serve, what's your assessment of their performance?
The little that have been given opportunities are called tokens. It's tokenism, it's patronizing, it's insulting. It's unfair to women, but above all else, it's not doing any good to the country. Because these women are highly educated. Our women population are some of the brightest in the world. And you are not using them because of this backwardness of patriarchy, of men having the monopoly on intelligence and rational and critical thinking. Actually, here there's not even any critical thinking, so we might forget that. On being superior to women, that's shooting yourself in the leg, in the foot. So we continue to do that. Why? After Beijing, women are doing during this COVID crisis. Some of the countries that were coping very well were run by women. Do you know that? Because that's what we do. That's what women do. But we don't recognize it. But our men are bungling it. How many women do you see around, except those that they send around to go and give bags of rice and sugar and whatever? It is demeaning to be using women like that, and women accept it. And in a way, it's a dereliction of duty on the part of the women.
Jumoke, please allow me to ask this. Out of, you say it's tokenism, but I know out of industry, hard work, perseverance and focus, somebody like you actually took your career to the pinnacle and you became a world-renowned actress, journalist and all that. In 2006, you actually got the award from the federal government. You are, by the grace of God, an officer of the Order of Niger, OON. We have a few distinguished, exemplary and outstanding women like in our society. We have the late Dora Konyili of blessed memory. We have the current Okonjo-Iweala, who by the grace of God will emerge the World Bank president. And then the current assistant UN General Secretary is also a woman. How would you, what kind of orientation do you think our women need these days? That even with the little opportunities they have, they can take their career or their life to the peak?
Let me put it this way. Power is never given to anybody. You take it.
Power is never given to anyone.
Not willingly. Not ever. See what happened at Edo. In Edo. Power never say, oh, yeah, you deserve it. No. In other words, you don't beg for power. I'm not for a percentage of this, that, and the other. If women are ready, they will do what they have to do. Women are keeping themselves back. Who stopped me from going? When you're talking about Afrocentrism, nobody in the white world, when I was working, nobody said, oh, don't do your hair like that, we don't like it. Why? Because I'm doing it, I'm carrying it, and I know this is me, I am authentic. They would not dare say, no, it's not good. So the ones that were intelligent, they welcomed it. They were very proud indeed that they have attracted somebody like me. So if you have respect for yourself, the point I'm making is people will respect you. Who stopped Okonjo-Iweala from going to the... Who stopped Yeah, who's stopping them? There's nobody stopping women.
So they really have to earn.
You just go ahead and do it.
And earn whatever position they desire.
Yeah.
But what about the issue of what we have, women not supporting women?
It is the same.
We don't have women queuing behind
They will
themselves.
not. They will not, because the society is a patriarchal society, and it is conditioned women to say all they're good for is to procreate for them, is for them to be in bed, good in bed or whatever, raise their children, and you're not worth anything. But that's erroneous view to accept. Because any man will tell you that a good woman behind you is going to propel him to the highest height. It is a fact. Show me a man's wife, and I'll tell you what that man is. Simple. I look at people and I meet their wives, and I know what kind of person they are. Because a strong woman behind a man, it means a man recognizes his own weakness.
Well, what about women supporting women?
Women won't support women because of patriarchy, they have been denuded of self-esteem. And so they have been taught and conditioned that only a man can achieve anything. So you put a woman there and say the woman is going to be president of this country. And the majority of people who vote for men are women. Put a woman there, put Okoji Iweala there, which we should, as president of this country. They will vote for her.
Let's talk
Not
about
only because they don't know her, that's another thing. If she has, as Obi has presidential ambition, you cannot cut yourself from your roots and come and say, I want to be your president. It's not an imposition. You live by example. You connect with your roots. You connect with the people. They have experienced you. You have done something. Not just you're the daughter of theirs, or you've done something. You come and offer yourself in service. They will be ready to get you to continue what you've been doing on the grassroots to the main stage. We are not doing that. Women are not doing that. So we're saying, I'm more educated than you. These people are local people. Now I know, I've been around the world. You know, I'm international. And I'm educated. So I have a right to be your leader. Life doesn't work like that.
Let's look at your profession. That's your base, your territory.
I'm coming back to
the thespian arts.
Yeah.
Women have always been projected as object of sex, pleasure, and people that can be subjected to all sorts of abuse in our films. Do you not see that as one of our major issues in this country? How do you think women can actually be projected by the Nollywood, Bollywood, and all that to help the women position themselves where they should be in society?
You cannot give what you don't have, my brother. That's what we're talking about. If all of them, both male and female, have been conditioned that that's the role of the woman, that's the kind of script they'll be writing. And the women will oblige. Look at the nonsense that's going on Instagram.
Would you act in a film where you'd be projected to act as an object of sex? Would you act? Would you accept such a role?
You're coming into what I'm saying. It depends on what image you yourself project. Even in real life, people will be hard. They will have to think twice before anybody hits on me. It's not a question of morality. It's a question of respect. Self-respect. So, hardly would anybody would have the temerity to say, well, you're an attractive woman. Not me, but where? Because it's how you carry yourself. It's the concept you have of yourself. I'm a sensual woman. I am a woman. That's not an argument. But that doesn't mean you should disrespect me for you not to know what you're talking about and think just because I'm a woman and say, well, you're just like any other woman. Nobody is just like anybody. No, you are not like any other man because every one of us is unique. So we don't have self-respect. We don't have self-esteem. When you don't have self-esteem and you're wanting people to accept you, then you do anything. For instance, you're chasing fame, you're chasing relevance, people will offer you anything because you think that's the way to growth. People don't think the intellect is anything. Why bother? And it goes to boys as well. They don't think hard work. The intellect, I dare say the most difficult...
You are aware that youth education is a fraud.
Yeah.
That's the in thing.
Yeah.
That's what you hear.
Yeah, because they don't know. Because we, our parents, ourselves, project to them that all that matters is to have money, and anyhow which way you get money, you have that. We've not taught them the dignity of labor. We've not taught them to be imaginative. We've not taught them curiosity.
Are you holding women responsible for?
I'm holding, yes, women are responsible. They raise the children. It is what, I think I told you, it is what there is that we're seeing. So my challenge is to women is, what are you going to do to get the society working? But if our women are still flancing around and wearing yolori and looking foreign and thinking foreign, and nobody goes on holiday to Idonri or whatever it is, they've got to go to Dubai. It's not a question of having money. It's a question of orientation and intellectual ability to work out what are important in your life.
Okay, so but finally, what should women do to do with the obstacles we find on our way from society?
First of all, educate yourself. Don't expect anything from anybody. Because if you have the right orientation, if you have the right set of thoughts and ambitions, you will fulfill your ambition. If you are not achieving something, it's because you have not thought it. If you thought an idea, that idea will go into the ether and come to you fully fleshed.
Okay. All right, Jumoke, it's not final yet because this is one issue we must actually discuss here before she gives an opportunity. What is rampant in the society today, and a lot of people have actually cried out against it, is the issue of rape, and it doesn't know age. I mean, you see a 65, 70-year-old man being caught with a 6-month-old baby or 6-year-old girl. It's so rampant, and even governments are involved now. You had a very horrible experience.
Yeah.
At 65,
Yeah.
you actually became a victim in the hands of a rapist.
Yeah.
Today, the issue has not abated. What do you think is responsible? How can we stop it?
It will not abate because men see women as object of their desire. And you see, when women are not asserting themselves, men think that she can take any woman anytime. A man will say to you, if he's having an argument with you, I have one like you at home. I'm wrong.
Oh, I have 4.
Exactly. So men don't respect their women at all, never mind the age. When I was being attacked, I said, I'm 65. I'm your mother. And they say could be your, I said, I am your mother. I'm an African. I'm the mother of I said, and you do this to you. I think that's what, I think they wanted to kill me. That's what I said, I am your mother. They said, stop talking, I will kill you. I said, but I am your mother. They finally taped my mouth. The duct tape. I am your mother. I think that was ringing in their head. They don't respect their mothers. They don't respect young women. So we are tools. We're tools in their hands. We're objects to our men. Unless our men change that orientation that they own the women, that they must have access to any woman they have. And it's infantile. And we raise our boys like that because we give them this superiority complex that makes them want to dominate anybody they think might be helpless in their sight. So kindness and tenderness to another human being, we have erased it in our consciousness. So that when you go out, you see how we deal with one another. I am not surprised rape is becoming rampant. Because who have you seen that they've made an example of? Unless you sanction it. And
No, there are sanctions, castration, jail terms and all that.
How many, sir? How many, sir? The thing that stops people, that makes people toe the line, is when you know that you misstep, you're going to have results.
All right, someone is
Yeah,
asking a question here. Maybe you can handle
Sorry,
that in just 30 seconds.
But she wanted to make a last
I
point.
was just going to say, you report to the police is mainly men. So they don't see it as an offense. Are you seeing the connection I'm saying? So how can anybody do anything? and let the governments themselves say that this is abominable. We must put an end to it. But how can government put an end to it when people in government are marrying 12-year-old, they're pedophiles themselves? I'm sorry.
All right, ma'am. Let me just
So
just a minute, just 1 minute, please.
Yeah.
Said someone is saying, what is the role of women in education and religion, please?
The role of
And
women,
just
fast.
summary, yeah.
The role of women in education. You start educating your children from home. Nowadays, we think the school must do it. It's vital. It's the point I've been making in my long-winded way, that unless women are raising their children in the right way, but maybe the women themselves have to be educated in that right way. What we're finding is that the women who are raising children themselves don't have the wherewithal, intellectual and structural wherewithal to raise their children properly. And in religion, I think Karl Marx said religion is the opium of the people. I think we have been shortchanged, and we are continually shooting ourselves in the foot by this total embracing of foreign religion. So if I was Abu Yifa, I would not want to be Abu Yifa because it's fetish, because forgetting the background to that name, I would be in Anyoluwa. It's not wrong.
When will Nigeria produce a female president?
When
would people be ready to actually go for presidency?
I think there are people,
and get it?
I think there are people who can do that. We have to educate our women that they must support their women. They must have respect for themselves.
All right, let me just read this last message. Say, good morning, MITV. My regards to Mommy Lisette. I love Mama right from my early 70s. May God keep her for us. From Ola, from Ikorodu. So that's for you.
Thank you, Ola. You are the wind beneath my wings. No, I am loved in this country. And I want people to know that it is not me, Moshimi. It is not my doing. It is you who honor me. And I am really elated. That's why I keep blooming. I keep like this.
At 79.
79.
Close to 80.
And I'm serious
Thank you
about
so
that.
much,
This
man.
is not empty talk. It is real.
Yeah.
Because
Thank
I know the responsibility I owe to you, because I owe everything to you, to God, to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We wish
man.
we had the
It's
2 hours to actually continue with
It's
this.
really been a nice one this morning. I want to say thank you for obliging us.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for
Thank
coming.
you. Thank you, Mr.
All right, so we'll be going to this last part of the program this morning, where we'll be featuring Boundless Multi-Services Solution Limited. They have lands and property for you, and please immediately just begin to call them to acquire yours. Stay tuned for that package. This is Boundless Estate at Tulta, sitting on 20 acres of land. The crew of Boundless Multi-Services Solution Nigeria Limited arrives at the estate located at Sokoto Road at Tulta for its regular inspection and space allocation exercise to its valued clients. A client, Mrs. Emiola Taiwo, who had her space allotted to her, expressed her joy at finally becoming a landowner after receiving her allocation document.
They allocate my land to me just now, though I didn't expect that, but thank God it's come to pass today. And when I paid for this land, I was like, are they going to allocate the land to me? But thank God today. And during the Hilea festival, they gave me 30% of the land, which they gave me the chicken, oil, palm oil, and other things like that. So I want to appreciate them for their efforts. Next month, I'm going to start the projects. So I'll start building the land. I want to encourage others. If you are doubting them, don't doubt them. So I want you to patronize them. I want you to come and buy land here. It's real.
The site inspection manager speaks on the numerous payment plans obtainable at Boundless Estate as he conducts prospective clients around the property.
We're at Boundless Estate at Sokoto Road at the moment, and we came for phases of inspections, and allocations. The interesting thing about this location is that it is an highly industrialized area, and we have popular places and catchment areas like the Winners Chapel, which is Cana land. It's just 10 minutes drive from here, and this location, this estate, promises an affordable payment scheme and flexibility. And another interesting thing is that any class of Nigerian, from the low class to the middle class, can afford. We have scheme that you can actually fit into to make your dream of owning a plot of land possible in this estate. We have basic amenities in place, such as good electricity. We're going to have a central solar system, good drainage, and the terrace of the land, it has a good topography as well. So
some clients who came for inspection described their conviction with excitement.
When they told me that we should come for an inspection, I was saying, they've started, but let me just go. I came in here for coming sake. It's not that I really believe in, because anything that has to do with land, I used to be scared. But on getting here, I was highly impressed with a good environment. In fact, I check everywhere. Right from the time that we are coming, I was like, is it for real? Are we sure? I said, okay, let me reach there. Until I got here, and I'm very, very impressed. They've started the perimeter fencing. Even there was one woman like that they located. I was like, with her documents, everything ready. I said, wow. Then there's no need for me to go anywhere again, because I know with Boundless multi-service, I'm good to go.
The marketing manager speaks on the accessibility and prospects of the property.
If you look around, as you can see, this particular place promises many things, such as gatehouse, such as perimeter fencing. One good thing about it is this: we even have plan for the aged ones, whereby we have such as golf court for them to relax their mind, to relax their nerves, because they are old. And apart from that, we have football pitch that will be made ready for the children. They don't need to go outside to mingle with every other children outside there. They mingle with like-minded children. This is the phase 2 of our location. This place has limited plots. Why can't you come now, buy it? Because it is affordable. Before we move to phase 3 of this place, join Boundless now, join the train, and I promise you, you will never regret you did.
Greater Heights Estate Onibuku in Adodota is another property managed by Boundless Multi-Services Solution Nigeria Limited.
Is one of the fastest rising and developing area in this axis, and is very close to the Ota Idiroko Expressway, very close to Ota Idiroko Expressway, just right behind major companies like producing companies along this axis, because this area is highly industrialized. And the reason why we are here today is because this particular estate is very, very affordable, and we have limited number of plots available for grabs. It's not an estate where you will have omonile issues. That has been sorted out already. No issues, nothing. Just there's no encroachment on this land. Just come, buy, and build at affordable rates.